just lasted 3 months. Chinese electric vehicle giant BYD only got to be the world's top EV seller for a single quarter. Now it's handing back the title to Tesla.
Why do you laugh? BYD is trying to compete. Why do you laugh?
Have you seen their car?
BYD has just announced its next-generation Blade battery. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a shift that could redefine the future of electric cars. BYD has announced that their newest EV platform is going to be capable of charging up to 1 megawatt of power, which is really an unprecedented jump forward for the passenger vehicle market. This new battery is safer, cheaper, and charges faster than ever before, with an 80% charge achievable in record time. BYD is proving why they're a force to be reckoned with in the EV world. But how did they achieve this breakthrough? Also, what makes this battery different from anything we've seen before? Join us as we uncover all about the Blade battery. The Blade battery is a game changer. Electric cars are not just the future anymore. They are the present. More people are switching to EVs every day, drawn by the promise of cleaner energy and lower fuel costs. But despite all the progress, one major problem remains: batteries. For years, EV manufacturers have struggled with the same issues. Charging takes too long, batteries wear out too quickly, and worst of all, they're expensive. These problems have slowed down EV adoption, keeping many potential buyers skeptical. Most electric cars today use lithium-ion batteries made with materials like nickel, cobalt, and manganese. These metals allow batteries to store more energy, which increases the driving range of EVs. But they also come with serious drawbacks. The first is cost. Nickel and cobalt are expensive to mine and refine, which drives up battery prices. This is one of the reasons why electric vehicles are still more expensive than gas-powered cars. The second is safety. Nickel and cobalt-based batteries have a dangerous flaw. They can overheat and catch fire. In extreme cases, they can even explode. Many EV owners have seen stories of battery fires, making safety a top concern. And thirdly, supply issues. The materials used in traditional batteries come from a few specific regions. Cobalt, for example, is mostly mined in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This has led to supply chain problems and ethical concerns about how these materials are sourced. BYD saw all these problems and, instead of just making small improvements, they decided to change the game completely. BYD didn't want to make just another battery. They wanted to create something safer, cheaper, and more efficient. So, in 2020, they introduced the Blade battery. Unlike traditional EV batteries, the Blade battery doesn't use nickel or cobalt. Instead, it relies on lithium iron phosphate, LFP. This one change solved many of the biggest issues with EV batteries. First, it made the battery much safer. One of the biggest risks with traditional lithium-ion batteries is thermal runaway. This happens when a battery overheats, leading to a chain reaction that can cause fires or explosions. BYD tested this aggressively. They performed the nail penetration test, one of the toughest safety tests in the industry. Most batteries fail this test because the nail creates a short circuit, which leads to overheating, and in some cases, fire. But when BYD tested the Blade battery, it didn't catch fire. Even when it was crushed, bent, and exposed to extreme heat, it remained stable. Second, it made EVs cheaper. Since LFP batteries don't use expensive metals like cobalt and nickel, they are much cheaper to produce. Lower production costs mean lower car prices, making EVs more affordable for everyone. Third, it improved battery lifespan. Most lithium-ion batteries start to degrade after a few years, losing capacity and reducing the car's range. But LFP batteries are far more durable. The Blade battery can last up to 5,000 charge cycles, much longer than traditional EV batteries. With all these advantages, the Blade battery quickly became one of the best EV batteries on the market. But now, BYD has done something even more impressive: the next-generation Blade battery. BYD didn't stop at just making a great battery, they wanted to make it even better. Since launching the BYD car brand in Europe last October, BYD entered 15 European countries within just 11 months, and that's exactly what they've done with their next-generation Blade battery. So, what's new? First, energy density has increased. The old Blade battery had an energy density of 140 watt-hours per kilogram. The new one, 190 watt-hours per kilogram. That's a 27% increase. But what does this actually mean? More energy in the same space. A battery with higher energy density can store more power without becoming bigger or heavier. That means EVs can go farther on a single charge without needing a larger battery pack. Then, there's charging speed. One of the biggest complaints about EVs is that charging takes too long. People are used to filling up a gas tank in a few minutes. Waiting an hour or more to charge a battery feels inconvenient. BYD's new Blade battery changes that. It can charge from 30% to 80% in just 30 minutes, using a direct current fast-charging system that can deliver up to 110 kilowatts of power to an electric vehicle. That's a huge improvement, making EV charging much more practical. And it's not just about speed, it's also about efficiency. The new battery generates less heat while charging. This means less energy is wasted, and the battery lasts longer over time. But here's the real question. How did BYD manage to improve the battery so much? BYD's success didn't come out of nowhere. This wasn't a lucky discovery or a sudden innovation. It was the result of years of research, testing, and refining. The company has been improving its battery technology step by step, making sure every version is better than the last. But how exactly did they manage to push the limits this time? It all starts with chemistry. Traditional electric vehicle batteries rely on a mix of nickel, cobalt, and manganese. These materials provide high energy density, but they come with serious problems. They're expensive, difficult to source, and prone to overheating. Cobalt, in particular, has been a major issue due to its high cost and controversial mining practices. BYD, however, took a different approach. Their Blade battery uses lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, which changes everything. LFP batteries are naturally safer because they don't overheat as easily. They're also cheaper because they don't rely on rare and costly metals. And on top of that, they last longer, making them a much better long-term investment. But BYD didn't stop there. They refined the raw materials, adjusted the battery structure, and optimized the way energy is stored, increasing efficiency like never before. Beyond chemistry, another key factor in BYD's success is its manufacturing process. Unlike many other EV companies, BYD controls almost every part of its supply chain. They don't just design batteries, they produce them from start to finish. This level of control allows them to make improvements that other companies can't. With this latest Blade battery, BYD streamlined production to cut costs, redesigned components to improve performance, and eliminated inefficiencies that would normally drive up prices. This means they can offer a battery that's not just powerful, but also affordable. Heat management is another major area where BYD has made significant progress. Batteries naturally generate heat when they charge and discharge, and too much heat can cause damage or worse, lead to fires. Cooling systems are essential, but they also add complexity and cost. BYD's latest battery takes a different approach. By improving the materials themselves, the new design generates less heat in the first place, meaning it doesn't need as much cooling to stay safe. This not only makes the battery more reliable, but also increases energy efficiency and extends its lifespan. How this changes the future of the EV industry. For years, the biggest names in the EV industry, like Tesla, General Motors, Volkswagen, and others, have relied on traditional lithium-ion batteries that use nickel and cobalt. These batteries have high energy density, but they come with major drawbacks. They're expensive to produce, prone to overheating, and have supply chain issues that make manufacturing unpredictable. With the second-generation blade battery, BYD has eliminated all of these problems in one go. This changes everything. First, let's talk about cost. Battery prices have always been one of the biggest barriers to making EVs affordable for everyone. Cobalt and nickel are expensive materials, and since many automakers depend on external suppliers, prices can fluctuate wildly. BYD's LFP-based battery doesn't need these expensive metals, and because BYD controls the entire production process, they can keep costs low while maintaining quality. This means their EVs can be sold at much lower prices, putting serious pressure on competitors to do the same. Then, there's safety. EV battery fires are rare, but when they do happen, they make headlines. While they provide a path towards reduced emissions, EVs can be especially dangerous when they catch fire. Traditional lithium-ion batteries can overheat and, in extreme cases, catch fire or explode. This is a major concern for both automakers and consumers. BYD's blade battery was already known for its extreme safety, passing nail penetration and heat tests without catching fire. The new generation takes this even further by improving thermal stability and reducing heat generation. This makes EVs safer than ever before. But perhaps the biggest shift is in charging speed. The new blade battery can charge from 30% to 80% in just 30 minutes. This is a game changer. One of the biggest concerns people have about EVs is the time it takes to charge compared to filling up a gas tank. If an EV can charge quickly enough, it suddenly becomes just as convenient as a gasoline car. And with continued improvements, we may soon see charging times drop even further, making long road trips and daily commutes much easier. That's just the beginning. BYD has put the entire EV industry on notice. If companies like Tesla, Volkswagen, and General Motors don't adapt quickly, they risk falling behind. Tesla, for example, has already started using LFP batteries in some of its lower-end models. This proves that even the biggest players recognize the advantages of this chemistry. But while Tesla is still sourcing these batteries from external suppliers, BYD has mastered the entire process in-house. This gives them a massive edge in both cost and innovation. Volkswagen and General Motors, on the other hand, are heavily invested in traditional lithium-ion batteries. Their supply chain, factories, and production processes are all built around cobalt and nickel-based batteries. Switching to LFP or trying to develop their own version of the blade battery would take years and cost billions of dollars. This puts them in a difficult position. Either they stick with their current technology and risk being outpaced, or they invest heavily in new battery production at the risk of losing money in the short term. There's also the question of government policies and incentives. Many countries are pushing for a faster transition to electric vehicles. Lowering costs and improving battery efficiency will make EVs more accessible to the average person. accelerating adoption worldwide. With BYD's new battery setting a new standard, regulators might start pressuring other automakers to follow suit. All of this means that competitors don't have much time to respond. If they don't come up with a breakthrough of their own soon, they could lose a huge chunk of the market to BYD. This isn't just about BYD, this is about the future of transportation as a whole. Electric vehicles are already taking over, but there have always been a few barriers stopping people from making the switch. Charging speed, range, cost, and safety concerns have held some consumers back. With the second-generation Blade battery, BYD has addressed all of these issues at once. Faster charging means EVs will become more convenient than ever. Lower costs mean more people can afford them. Improved range means drivers won't have to worry about running out of power. Better safety means fewer risks and more confidence in the technology. With all of these improvements, EV adoption is set to accelerate even faster. More people will make the switch. More governments will push for electric transportation, and more industries will adapt to this new reality. But the biggest question remains: is this the moment when electric vehicles finally become more practical and affordable than gasoline cars? That's what the world is about to find out. Our vertical integration capability gives us the flexibility to respond to the market the fastest. BYD's newer version, that's a fully flying car. They want this on the road by 2030, and they've already done tests. China's BYD is shaking things up again, and this time it is with a flying car valued at an unbelievable price of $4,999. BYD's CEO just revealed this innovative ride, and it's already gaining popularity. For the first time, Chinese electric vehicle maker BYD has seen its revenue surpass that of Tesla. Isn't it? No one saw this coming, especially at a price that anyone can get excited about. Is this the beginning of affordable flying cars, and how did the company pull this off before anyone else? Join us as we look into the release of the first flying car by Chinese BYD. So, how did tech enthusiasts react to this development? We're getting there. Stay tuned. While BYD has made its name in electric vehicles, EVs, and is already known for pushing clean technology forward, this flying car signals that they are aiming even higher. The company has long been about making advanced tech accessible, and this is its biggest attempt yet to bring something futuristic directly into the public's hands. It's a big statement from China, and it definitely puts the country at the forefront of this kind of technology. The news of BYD's affordable flying car took off immediately around the world. Media outlets couldn't resist the headline. After all, this is the type of announcement that draws everyone's attention. Tech enthusiasts, business watchers, and everyday folks have been drawn in by the novelty of a flying car, being priced for less than most high-end laptops or smartphones. You have news sites, bloggers, and social media buzzing about it, and people are sharing their thoughts on what it could mean. It's an unexpected development that caught a lot of industry players off guard, especially with how BYD has managed to keep the price so low. Arguably, we've never seen anything like this in terms of, the amount of support that China has extended to automakers, specifically pertaining to EVs. Some big names in tech have even chimed in with reactions, as people are curious to see where this goes. After all, there's been a lot of talk around flying cars, but most projects are priced so high that they remain out of reach for regular buyers. BYD's launch has changed that narrative, putting the concept on a path toward mass adoption. Technology and design, they need to be one firm unit, and for this, We are also as designers and as BYD generally, our customers are very happy. The announcement also reflects China's broader pattern of dominance in emerging technologies. In recent years, China has been leading the way in areas like AI, robotics, and clean energy, and now they're setting a benchmark in flying transportation. It's not just about being innovative, but also about redefining who gets access to these innovations. What really sets this flying car apart, though, is the price point of $4,999. It is a game changer in a field where six-figure amounts have been the standard for years. People have seen flying car concepts come and go, most carrying high price tags and targeted at wealthy buyers or companies. BYD's flying car, by contrast, is the first realistic opportunity for regular people to consider a flying vehicle in their future. It's a huge step toward making the technology accessible, moving it from something imagined in sci-fi movies to something people could actually afford. This move also reflects a historical trend we've seen in the transportation industry. There was a time when cars were a luxury only a few could afford, and the same was true for airplanes. But as prices dropped and production scaled up, cars and air travel became accessible to the general public. Now, BYD is following a similar path, democratizing access to flying cars in a way that hasn't been attempted before. They're building on their success in EVs, where they've already focused on making clean energy cars affordable for a wider audience, and now they're applying that same approach to this new technology. The launch of BYD's flying car has certainly stirred up the competition, especially with Tesla and other electric vehicle manufacturers. While companies like Tesla have been investing heavily in autonomous driving and futuristic technology, BYD's focus on affordability puts a different kind of pressure on them. Tesla, for instance, has pursued high-end models with premium features, and while they've been exploring autonomous driving, the idea of a flying car at such a low price changes the conversation. BYD is signaling that they're willing to expand beyond traditional EVs and into uncharted territory, aiming to be not just a player in the EV world, but a leader in the future of transport itself. This move also raises questions for other EV makers about how they'll respond. The world is watching to see if Tesla or other players might take inspiration from BYD's approach and try their hand at creating affordable flying vehicles of their own. By introducing this model, BYD has effectively set a new standard, and competitors now face the challenge of either keeping up or potentially losing ground in this evolving market. With BYD pushing ahead with affordable flying cars, the pressure is on for others to innovate, whether through lower prices, new features, or entirely new vehicle concepts. This flying car also fits neatly into BYD's broader clean energy and transportation strategy. BYD has been positioning itself as a company dedicated to sustainable transport, having already made strides in the electric vehicle industry. The flying car aligns with their mission to reduce the environmental impact of transportation, as it likely uses electric or hybrid power, consistent with their existing focus on eco-friendly tech. This approach is not only a win for consumers who want more options, but also a plus for environmental goals, as it could encourage a broader adoption of cleaner transportation technologies. The buzz around BYD's flying car is only growing, and people are curious to learn more about its features and capabilities. What's the range? How fast can it go? What kind of technology powers it? These are the questions that are floating around, and we will be answering these questions in the course of this video. The video gets interesting from this point: features and speculations of the flying car. The car is a unique blend of accessible, practical design and straightforward functionality. This car is all about getting the job done efficiently and affordably. Color options are said to be fairly basic, likely in sleek, muted tones to maintain that functional vibe while keeping costs low. In terms of materials, BYD has chosen lightweight yet durable components, aiming to balance affordability with durability. The overall design prioritizes ease of navigation through urban areas. What we want to do is a real flying car that can drive on the road and fly in the sky, so it's not oversized or complicated. Reports suggest it's compact enough to fit in tighter spaces, with dimensions around 12 feet in length and roughly 5 feet in width, weighing approximately 1,500 pounds. It's relatively light for a flying vehicle, which helps with its flight efficiency. We'll see our flying car, and it will be the very important basis for the next generation flying car. The cockpit of this flying car is another place where simplicity shines. The controls are basic and intuitive, designed so even those who've never been in a cockpit before can manage. It's not cluttered with advanced controls, but focuses on core functionality. This straightforward layout lets a first-time flyer operate the vehicle without a steep learning curve. To add to the convenience, the car comes with retractable landing gear, so it can take off and land with minimal fuss. The aerodynamic design also ensures stable, short-distance travel and, in terms of urban mobility, includes both air passenger transportation and air logistic uses, with features tailored to make city flights smooth and efficient. What powers BYD's flying car is just as interesting as its design. The propulsion system relies on electric motors, which aligns with BYD's eco-friendly focus. Using electricity rather than traditional fuel is not only cheaper, but also much cleaner for the environment. This propulsion choice also lets the car operate at a lower noise level, which is a major plus for city and suburban use. As for takeoffs and landings, this car is built to manage them in compact spaces. Short takeoff and landing capabilities mean it doesn't need a full runway, just a small clear area. It can lift off and touch down in parking lots or small fields, making it versatile for different urban environments. Safety is obviously a big priority with any flying vehicle, and BYD's flying car has several features to keep things secure. It has automatic stabilization, which helps keep the ride steady even if there's a bit of wind or turbulence. Altitude control is another key part of the safety setup, ensuring the car doesn't accidentally climb too high. Reports suggest that the flying car has a maximum altitude of about 1,000 feet, which is more than enough for city flights while avoiding regulated airspace. The car can fly at a top speed of around 80 miles per hour, and on a full charge, it's expected to offer a flight time of roughly 30 to 45 minutes. This gives it a range of about 25 to 30 miles, ideal for short commutes or trips within a metropolitan area. In terms of navigation, there's some speculation about added tech features like mobile connectivity. This could mean that BYD's flying car may have some form of GPS or route guidance integrated directly into the vehicle, helping pilots track routes or monitor their journey. Autonomous capabilities might also be in the works, although there's no confirmation yet on whether this version includes self-flying technology. BYD has also put careful thought into the car's battery setup. The company has plenty of experience in EV batteries. China actually takes a carrot and stick approach. They set mandatory EV output targets for automakers, but they also offer cheaper loans, cheaper land, and R&D subsidies to all those EV makers, and this flying car benefits from that. It uses advanced lithium-ion battery cells, likely with BYD's own innovations to enhance lifespan and charge efficiency. On a single charge, the car can cover its maximum range, providing enough power for most city-to-city or short-distance trips. The charging time is relatively fast, estimated at about an hour, and there's talk of BYD developing a network of chargers specifically for this new vehicle class. In addition, they may include solar charging options to further extend battery life, allowing for some extra energy when parked in the sun. Given the use of clean energy, the car not only saves on fuel costs, but also reduces emissions, making it a sustainable choice for future urban transport. Speed-wise, the flying car's maximum speed of 80 miles per hour is decent for urban or suburban use. Compared to ground vehicles, it's faster than regular cars in city traffic, but it's not going to match the speeds of high-performance aircraft. That's part of the point. BYD's car isn't trying to replace planes, but to provide a different way to move around congested areas. With a 25 to 30-mile range on a single charge, it's set up for shorter trips rather than cross-country travel. This range is efficient for everyday use in populated areas, but keeps the car within regulated airspace limits, which is important since aviation laws restrict how high and far such vehicles can go. Since the flying car operates relatively low in the sky, it stays clear of major airspace restrictions, but regulations still apply. Meeting safety and airworthiness standards is essential, and BYD has reportedly been working closely with Chinese authorities to ensure this model complies. For international market, the car would need further certifications to meet local aviation requirements, especially as airspace regulations vary widely. Built-in fail-safes, like an emergency landing function, have been included to handle unexpected situations. Testing has been rigorous, following both local and international guidelines for new aerial vehicles. Given the global interest in flying cars, regulatory bodies may eventually adjust their policies to accommodate more of these vehicles, but for now, BYD's model fits within current urban flight limits. In terms of security, BYD has worked to address any potential risks. The car's tech includes backup power for landing if the main battery starts to run low. Plus, the automatic stabilization system keeps the flight steady even if conditions change quickly. These features give the car a solid safety profile, which is critical for public acceptance, especially with new flying tech like this. It's clear that BYD is doing everything possible to ensure the car meets high safety standards while also keeping it accessible and easy to use. Everything about this flying car is evidence of BYD's innovation, which was improved through the years. What do you think? Are we witnessing the beginning of a new era in electric vehicles? And if so, who will be left standing when the dust settles? Let us know in the comments section. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Remember to like, share it, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.